gonna remove this hubcap. Just take a 19mm socket, take these caps off. You don't want to use a gun when you do this. Take that off. Take the lug nuts off, 19mm socket. Take the tire off. I'm just gonna use a screw jack under here just to support the control arm. This is gonna keep the spring from popping out when we take the bolts out of the shock. I'm gonna take this bolt out, use a 21mm socket. Take that off. Now I'm going to take these bolts out on this bracket. I need to pull the fender liner to the side a little bit to get to this one using an 18mm socket. Take that out. When I go to take this one out, I'm just going to hold the shock so it doesn't fall. And grab the shock, pull it out. This is pretty rusty, so I'm going to use a little rust penetrant. Let that soak for a little bit. Now I'm just going to slide this dust boot down. Take some locking pliers. And way up high, I'm just going to lock this down. And I'll use a 15mm socket, take the nut off. That. Slide this bracket off. And we're just going to slide this dust boot off and transfer it to the new one. And take the new rear shock. Take this dust boot, go over the shaft. We're going to take this bracket. It's going to go on like this. Install the new nut. Take a 17mm socket and you can lock the shaft with the locking pliers. Just make sure you put these on really high. You don't want these down low or it's going to mess up the seal. And tighten this to 15 foot-pounds. And that's good. And take this dust boot and slide it up. Now slide the shock in position. Put the bolts back. Now tighten these bolts to 74 foot-pounds. Same with the other one. Now line the lower bolt up. It's recommended that you replace this bolt when you're doing this. We're just going to reuse ours. Then tighten this to 110 foot-pounds. And then an additional 60 degrees. You can use an angle meter. If you don't have a torque angle meter, do the best you can. Remove the screw jack. Reinstall the tire. Put the lug nuts on. Now I'm going to torque the wheel to 100 foot-pounds, and I'm going to tighten the lug nuts in a star pattern so that it tightens the wheel down evenly. And just go around again, just make sure. Take the hubcap, line up the valve stem with this little notch in the hubcap, and tighten down these caps. Do this by hand so you don't strip them out. And just make sure they're tight.